Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into the kinds of clutter that often leave us scratching our heads. Those stubborn items that seem to linger in our homes with no clear purpose. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? The things that somehow accumulate, and before we know it, we're stuck wondering what to do with them or how to finally let them go. These are the hidden clutter traps that sneak up on us. And in this video, we'll explore 10 hidden clutter traps and ways to clear them out. Whether you're just starting your decluttering journey or you're a seasoned pro, there's something here for everyone. I'll be sharing a beginner tip and a pro tip for each of these 10 types of clutter so you can make real progress no matter where you are in the process. Let's get started. Let's begin with books, a topic that often comes up when discussing decluttering. Yes, you can have a large book collection and still embrace minimalism. However, many of us hold on to books that we'll probably never read again. It's worth revisiting your collection to make sure it truly brings you joy. A beginner tip is to start by making 2 piles, one for books you've read and another for books you haven't read yet. Then, take the pile of unread books and divide it into 2 more piles. The first pile is for books you're still excited about reading, and the second pile is for books that no longer interest you. I recommend donating that last pile. This doesn't mean you've failed. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's just a waste to keep them around, taking up space, and possibly making you feel guilty for not reading them when you're not genuinely interested. After doing this, the pro tip is to do the same thing with the books you've already read. Be honest with yourself. How likely are you to read them again, or actually keep them around to look through them again? Keep those books that truly matter to you, and donate the rest. Once you've sorted your books, organize them by putting the ones you've read back on the shelf and keeping a separate spot for those you haven't read yet. You can even arrange unread books in the order you plan to read them, so they're easy to find. Remember, books don't define you. Letting go of those you no longer enjoy or have already read clears space for new ones you'll love. The next kind are items we keep around because we intended to fix them, but never got around to it. Think of things like clothing with holes or other damaged items. Beginner tip: start by gathering all these items in one place and tackle the easy repairs first. Quick fixes, like changing a battery, replacing a light bulb, or doing a bit of stitching, can be handled swiftly. Once done, put these items back where they belong. Pro tip: for the remaining items, ask yourself 3 key questions. First, do I have the materials needed for the repair? Second, how much time, energy, and money will the repair require, and is it worth it? And third, do I still like this item and will I actually use it? Take a moment to evaluate whether fixing it is still worthwhile. If it is, go ahead and make the repair. Let's dive into the world of beauty products, a category I actually find quite enjoyable to declutter. It's surprisingly satisfying and fun. Beginner tip: start by clearing out anything that's outdated, expired, dirty, or simply no longer in use. Once you've removed the old items, give your cabinets a thorough cleaning and arrange everything in a logical way. Pro tip: take a closer look at the items you still have. Ask yourself if you truly enjoy using them and if they align with your current style. For example, I once owned 10 to 15 lipsticks, each with a matching lip liner. But I realized I prefer a simpler approach with just lip balm and 1 neutral lipstick for special occasions. If you discover items that no longer suit you, don't hesitate to part with them. You'll find that you appreciate and enjoy the items you keep even more. Jewelry collections can often become a cluttered mess, with pieces piling up over time. I've been through several rounds of decluttering my own collection because some items were hard to let go of at first. It's important to remember that organizing your jewelry is an ongoing process, and it's okay to revisit it periodically. For a beginner tip, focus on quick wins. Eliminate any jewelry that's damaged, turns your skin green, has lost its luster, or simply no longer fits your style. This helps clear out the obvious clutter and makes room for pieces that truly bring you joy. For a more advanced strategy, establish a physical boundary for your collection. I use a jewelry box with limited space, and only the pieces that fit inside stay in my collection. This approach not only helps me keep my collection manageable, but also ensures that I cherish and enjoy each piece more. Invest in a beautiful storage solution that reflects your style, and let it set a limit on the amount of jewelry you keep. Now, let's discuss digital clutter, which can be quite tricky and overwhelming. It's an area where many people tend to procrastinate. To tackle it effectively, you need a plan, a checklist to get started. Beginner tip: create a checklist of all the areas of digital clutter that bother you the most. This could include photos on your phone or laptop, your email inbox, apps on your phone, files, or digital administration. Having a list makes it easier to see and check off each area as you address it. Pro tip: set up a system to keep things under control moving forward. Here's what I do. Every 2 or 3 days, I quickly go through my phone to delete any new files or photos that I no longer want to keep. I also maintain an album on my phone for temporary files, items I plan to keep only briefly. Periodically, I review and delete files from this album that are no longer needed. Additionally, I immediately sort new photos into albums right after taking them, so they are organized in a way that makes sense to me, avoiding the need to reorganize them later. Another common clutter issue I hear about is hobby and craft supplies. For a beginner tip, start by sorting through your items and discarding those that are either in poor condition or that you don't really enjoy using. This might include dried-out markers or supplies you have no clear use for. Items still in good shape can be sold or donated, while broken ones might be recyclable in your area. For a pro tip, take things a step further by gathering all your craft supplies in one spot and honestly evaluate which items you still find enjoyable. Don't feel guilty about holding on to high-end supplies you haven't used or unfinished projects. Be truthful with yourself. Either start using them or accept that they might not be what you're naturally drawn to. Crafting and creative projects should be enjoyable, so if something isn't bringing you joy, consider passing it on to someone who will appreciate it. Next is seasonal decorative objects. Beginner tip: start by evaluating your seasonal decorations. Keep only the items that you use frequently or that have special sentimental value. For everything else, consider donating or selling to reduce clutter and make space for what you truly love. Pro tip: organize your decorations in clearly labeled bins to simplify access when the season comes around. Additionally, set a limit on the number of decorations you keep for each season. This approach helps prevent clutter from building up and ensures that you only hold on to items that truly enhance your celebrations. If you have furniture that no longer fits your needs or style, the beginner tip is to donate or sell it. I personally prefer donating to Goodwill, but listing items on online marketplaces can also be highly effective. For a pro tip, if you have any damaged pieces, explore options to upcycle them creatively. For instance, you might repurpose an old chair into a plant stand or turn a scratched table into a stylish desk. If you're no longer fond of a particular piece, consider giving it a makeover. We recently refreshed our bedroom closet with contact paper, which transformed it into a brighter and more modern feature of our room. Not only did this save us from buying a new one, but it also added a personal touch to our decor. Additionally, think about how you can adapt and improve other furniture items in your home, whether it's adding new hardware, painting a dresser, or reupholstering a chair, these small updates can make a significant difference. Embrace the creative process and enjoy the satisfaction of enhancing what you already own. If you have kids in your home, the next thing that causes clutter is toys. Beginner tip: start by reviewing your child's collection of toys and belongings. Set aside items they've outgrown or no longer play with. Donate or sell the items that are still in good condition. This will help free up space and ensure that only the most cherished items remain. Pro tip: engage your child in the decluttering process by allowing them to choose which items they want to keep. This approach not only helps them learn about organization and the importance of managing their possessions, but also makes the process more enjoyable for them. By involving them, you teach them valuable lessons about letting go of items they no longer use, and they are more likely to appreciate and take care of the things they choose to keep. Let's dive into the topic of deal-induced clutter. Those items you snagged on sale, found at a great deal, or even received for free, like from a goodie bag. Beginner tip: start by sorting through these items and check if they're still in good condition or even unused. If so, consider passing them along to someone who might appreciate them. For example, if you have a skincare product that's still effective but not suitable for your skin type, find a friend who could benefit from it. Pro tip: reevaluate your purchasing habits. Opt for sales or 2-for-1 deals only if they are for products you've used before and know you will use again. Otherwise, you risk adding more unnecessary clutter to your space. Also, consider creating a bargain box where you temporarily store these items. After a few months, if you haven't used them, it's a clear sign they may not be worth keeping. This can help you maintain a clutter-free environment while still enjoying the occasional deal. Remember, buying things you don't need, even at a discount, doesn't really save you money in the long run. And last, let's tackle electronics and old appliances. Beginner tip: gather up all the electronics and appliances you no longer use, starting with the easiest to sort, such as cables with unknown purposes or old USB drives. Make sure to review the contents of any USB drives before disposing of them. Also, collect any unused remote controls and take them to your local recycling center. Remember to check for batteries, as these need to be recycled separately. Pro tip: focus on electronics and appliances that don't get much use. For example, we decided to part ways with a juicer a few years ago because it occupied valuable space and was only used sporadically. If you have similar items that could be useful to someone else, consider passing them along. And there you have it, 11 hidden clutter traps that might be sneaking up on you. By tackling these areas, you'll be well on your way to a more peaceful and minimalist home. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more minimalist living tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.